Welcome. My name is Shannon Ryan, and I'm an education graduate student at Texas A&M University. Recently, I conducted an action research project on coding in the classroom and its effects on critical thinking and problem solving for students in the 5th grade. Key terms that require inherent understanding include 21st century skills, critical thinking, and problem solving. 21st century skills are skills identified as needed by students to be successful in the ever-changing world. They include collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity. Critical thinking is the ability to analyze, assess, and reconstruct one's thinking about any topic or subject area. Problem solving is the process used to find a solution to a problem, which in fact takes critical thinking skills. Critical thinking and problem solving go hand in hand. I have been a teacher for 6 years and have always taught math. I began incorporating STEM practices in my classroom very organically my first year of teaching. When I found out what I was doing organically had a name, I began to research this best practice approach to teaching and its benefits to students. This research interested me because as a math teacher, I often come into contact with students who have trouble using problem-solving skills with respect to their mathematics work. Students do not want or did not seem capable of problem-solving and thinking critically. They wanted the answers readily, and they wanted a step-by-step guide to get to the answer. After speaking with colleagues, I found that this issue was occurring in multiple content areas. Because problem solving and critical thinking are key 21st century skill sets, it was imperative that I found a way to reach my students and encourage growth in these areas. As a STEM teacher, I wanted to see if critical thinking skills and problem solving skills could be increased by activities within my STEM curriculum. One piece of technology that enabled engineering that greatly intrigued me was computer coding. Through several activities in my class, I learned about various methods of coding using devices such as Ozobots and Bloxels, and using visual coding such as patterns and Blockly. My students really enjoyed these activities and were always engaged and wanting to participate in these types of activities regularly. The love of coding and my problem with students' critical thinking and problem solving in the classrooms helped me develop my research questions that would guide my action research project. My research questions for the project were: what impact does a visual coding program utilized in a 5th grade classroom have on critical thinking skills and problem solving skills? Also, how does visual computer coding affect the critical thinking and problem solving abilities of males and females? To conduct the research, I used a quasi-experimental approach. 32 students volunteered for my experimental group, and 47 students were in my control group. Both groups were composed of males and females. The action research occurred in my own 5th grade mathematics class weekly. To take a measurement of students' critical thinking and problem-solving abilities, I used a game called the parking lot. This logic game required students to move a car off of a grid using the least amount of moves possible. I gave the students 5 minutes to complete this task and recorded the number of games they were able to successfully finish. Both my experimental group and my control group participated in playing the parking lot logic game, with their results being similar prior to using coding in the classroom. For my experimental group, I chose Google's Computer Science First game design program for my curriculum. Google's CS First Game Design is a program that teaches coding to make video games through a series of activities utilizing a software program called Scratch. Scratch utilizes visual coding blocks called Blockly to enable students to write coding language without having to memorize a specific language such as C++ or Python. My intention was to utilize Google CS First once a week for an hour, allowing my experimental group to complete an activity each week. students would be able to complete the program in 8 weeks. The control group would not participate in the coding activities. My plan was then to take post-test measures using the parking lot logic game again on both groups. Due to time constraints, experimental group students only utilized the program for 3 weeks, which equates to 3 one-hour sessions before all students took their post-test challenge. The results of the Brief Action Research Project were surprising in that the data showed coding does significantly impact critical thinking and problem-solving skills, but only for male students. In fact, the data showed that females were negatively impacted by coding in the areas of critical thinking and problem-solving. I would like to conclude this presentation by stating more research is needed for the study of critical thinking and problem-solving skills, especially for female students, as they did not benefit from the use of coding. Thank you.